Act 3, Scene 4, Richard III, Shakespeare. Buckingham, Stanley, Hastings, the Bishop of Ely, Ratcliffe, and Lovell enter with others and take their seats at a table. Hastings. Now, noble lords, the reason we're meeting is to determine the day the prince will be crowned. In God's name, speak. When should the royal day be? Buckingham. Is everything ready for that event? Stanley. It is. All we have to do is name the day. Ely. Tomorrow's good day. Tomorrow's a good day. Buckingham. Who knows what the Lord Protector thinks? Who's closest to him? Ely. You, I think, would best know what he's thinking. Buckingham. We know each other's faces, but as for our thoughts, he doesn't know any more about my thinking than I do about yours or his, or you do about mine. Lord Hastings, you and he are close. Hastings. Thank you. I know he holds me dear, but I haven't asked him about the coronation, and he hasn't told me. But you, my noble lords, may name a time, and I'll second it on the Duke's behalf, which I don't think he'll mind. Richard enters. Ely. Right on cue, here's the Duke himself. Richard. My noble lords and relatives, good morning. I slept in, but I hope I didn't delay any important decisions. Buckingham. If he hadn't shown up on cue, my lord, Lord Hastings was going to take your part, I mean. He was going to speak for you in the crowning of the king. Richard. No one may be bolder than my Lord Hastings. He knows me well and loves me well. Ely. When I was last at your palace, I saw some great strawberries in your garden. I beg you, send someone to bring some of them. Ely. Yes, my lord, with pleasure. He exits. Richard. Buckingham, I need to have a word with you. Drawing him aside. Catesby has sounded Hastings out and found the prickly gentleman so opposed to our plan that he actually said he would die before he'd agreed to have his master's son, as he put it so devotedly, lose the crown. Buckingham. Move to the other room, my lord. I'll come soon. Richard exits with Buckingham following him. So they're gossiping about Hastings. So anyway, Stanley. We have not yet set the coronation day. Tomorrow, in my opinion, is too soon. I myself am not as well equipped as I would be if the day were put off a bit. Ely returns. Ely. Where is my lord, the Duke of Gloucester? I haven't sent for the strawberries. Oh, I have sent for the strawberries. Hastings. Richard is looking cheerful today. You always know he's got some plan that pleases him when he says good morning with such gusto. I don't think there's a man under the sun who's worse at hiding his love or hate than Richard. You know his feelings immediately just by looking at his face. Stanley. And what feelings did you see in his face today? Hastings. That he's not angry with anyone here. If he were, he would have shown it. Stanley. I pray to God he isn't. Richard and Buckingham return. Richard. Tell me, all of you, what punishment does a person deserve who conspires to kill me with witchcraft and who has already plagued my body with black magic? So Hastings. Because I love your grace, I say that whoever the offenders are deserve to die. Richard. Then see the evidence of their evil with your own eyes. He shows his arm. Look how I've been bewitched. See how my arm has become like a withered tree branch. This is the work of Edward's wife, that monstrous witch who was in league with that tramp Shore. They have used witchcraft to harm me. Hastings. If they have done this thing, my noble lord. Richard. If? You lover of that damn whore, you're talking to me of ifs? You're a traitor. Off with his head. By St. Paul, I swear I won't eat lunch until I see him beheaded. Lovell and Ratcliffe, make sure it gets done. The rest of you who love me, come with me. Everyone but Hastings, Ratcliffe, and Lovell exits. Hastings. I pity England, but not myself. I pity England, but not myself. I was too foolish. I might have prevented this. Stanley dreamed the boar beheaded him, and I laughed and refused to flee with him. 3 times today my horse stumbled and started when he looked in the direction of the tower, as if he hated to carry me to the slaughterhouse. Oh, now I really need that priest who spoke to me today. And I regret having bragged to the messenger about how my enemies were being butchered at Pomfret, while I, as I said, was in good standing with Richard. Oh, Margaret, Margaret, your heavy curse has now landed on poor Hastings' miserable head. Ratcliffe. Hurry up. The Duke wants to eat his dinner. Make your confession short. He's eager to see your head. Hastings, we spend more time seeking out the fleeting glories of this temporary world than looking to the permanent grace of God. Anyone who builds his hopes on air lives like a drunken sailor hanging on a mast, ready with every dizzy nod of his head to tumble to the bottom of the sea. The things we worry about, like good looks and possessions, aren't lasting, and they don't matter. Lovell, come, hurry up, it's pointless to talk now. Hastings, oh bloody Richard, miserable England, I foresee for you the most frightening time you have ever experienced. Come, lead me to the block, bring him my head. Those who smile at it will soon be dead themselves. They all exit. That was the end of Act 3, Scene 4.